up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. So I'm back with another video. This is a clip from the Tonight's Conversation podcast. Shout out to them. I titled this video, Educated High Earning Women Will Stay Single and This Is Why. So I want you to hear what this man is saying in this video and the response. And I definitely want to hear what you got to say in the comments below. So make sure you chime in. I want to hear your thoughts on this one. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Here we go.
If a man came along, let's say y'all both make $500K a year. He's making $70K. He got a business plan. He got a vision. He's working towards that day in and day out. And you would have to look up at him on all the intangible. Does he get a chance?
No. I would rather be single. This is the thing.
Wow.
Let me tell you why. I have gotten to a certain point because I've built to a certain point. I am disciplined in everything. I'm disciplined in relationship with God, in my emotions, in my mentality, in my energy, in my body, and how I eat. I am very disciplined. And so I would expect that a man is the same thing. Because when you're disciplined, whatever you do the most is what compounds in your life. Why would I not give a shot to a person that makes $70,000 a year? I could put you on. Hell, I could even hire you. Come on, let's work together. We could do all of that. But as far as my man, because this is the thing, I refuse to give into a life where I start to feel like I can't have it all.
That's where the insatiableness and the gluttony, because if you already have it all, why do you need a man to give you more?
Yeah, and I think this is why a lot of these educated women who speak that way will continue to stay single. The reason I say that is because their education, if you look at how she spoke about the things that she's accomplished, she's staunch on it. I've worked hard. You know, when women work hard, and this is the difference between most women and men. When women work hard to accomplish something, they're staunch. They don't want to share it. They don't want to share it. This is why a lot of these women want a man. They want a man who is not only disciplined, I think they want a man who makes what they make or more, because they want him to, they don't understand how to share what they've made, but they expect a man to share everything that he makes. Because the idea is that, oh, as the man, you're supposed to be the provider, the protector, but when you're in a relationship, it's a we. So they don't understand how to bridge that gap between them and their accomplishments and bridge that with a man. They still expect a man who's gonna come in and take on it all. Because men have been meant to be the breadwinners and to be expected to prepare and take care of a family, women still see it in a traditional sense, I'm convinced. Even though women are, entrepreneurs and they're boss chicks or whatever, they're making the money, they're building themselves up and they're doing it themselves, they still can't understand the concept of sharing what they've made with a man. They still want a man to be a traditional man while they are modern women, and they want him to conform to them. That is the real gag. This is why you see women who speak like this, women who are super successful, they don't usually have a man. Now, they're probably sleeping with somebody. I'm not saying she is. I'm just saying they can have male friends, but they don't usually get married, because men don't want to marry women like that, because these women don't know how to be in a relationship with a man when they had to work hard and build themselves up. They don't want to share what they've accomplished, but they expect a man to do it. And that is not gonna fly in modern society. Let's continue though.
Like, that's the part of the conversation that I just cannot fully understand.
It may be
not love that they want.
Maybe it's not.
Let me finish.
Why does money have to be null and void of love?
I think it's because y'all keep going to money. Like, y'all don't really chime on like the other intangibles as much. It's mostly about the money.
But that's other tangibles. It's whole. It's all of it. If you're missing one, you can't rank one out on the scale of 1 to 10. In my lifestyle, in people that I know, I don't really know any people that make $70,000
well, I know.
a year.
What about a high school teacher who loves the kids in his community, who's not on that money shit? He wants to serve.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that I am around on a daily basis, the people that I call on my phone. It's different. So I will say, my vantage point for what success looks like monetarily speaking is exponentially different than most people. I understand that. And I'm not here to wrong or shame the person that makes $70,000, because the truth is, every single person deserves love. But like Tasia said, that's not going to happen with me. Because I live in a space where I want to follow the leadership of my man. I want my man to make the decisions inside of my household. It's not about a dollar amount.
But it is. It is about a dollar amount because a man could lead. He don't have to make as much as you make in order to lead unless you set that standard. They're putting the standard on, you're putting the emphasis on money. You won't date, and that's your preference. At the end of the day, everybody has their preference. I ain't mad at it, but what I'm saying is this is why these particular women will end up single. And if you're happy there, that's fine with all of your money and all of your standards. You won't have nobody to share it with. A lot of these women don't have kids. They don't have husbands, and they probably won't because most men are not going to go for that type of woman for the most part because they prioritize their careers. They're successful, and I'm not mad at successful women. But when you become a successful woman and your focus is on that, you do develop certain standards. And they don't know how to separate the fact that a good man just may love you to death and be there for you, but he just may not make the money that you make. And I've seen couples who make pretty good money. There are examples of successful women on TV who are married to men who don't make as much as they make, but he still does well. And they're able to forge a marriage and a relationship, and they bring and bridge it together. But I think some women don't want to do that. Once again, I think most women who are super successful or make a lot of money, they don't want to share that money with anybody else. And I think a lot of women who are successful think this way. Let's continue.
No.
Because he can lead in other ways.
No.
And with finances,
you've got to lead the household. You can look. Money doesn't buy you happiness, but it buys you options.
Exactly.
This is the question. The question I want to ask in fairness.
These people just got money. They don't even, the people who think they got money don't even have no brand.
Let me ask you the conversations that we have, and women are literally saying, I make $300,000 a year. If he makes $100K, he's not viable.
But wait, Doc, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying leadership. It's about leadership. So for me,
but money doesn't equate to leadership at all.
This is what I'm saying. I'm saying if you are going to lead me in the ways, that means you need to have the mindset. That means you need to have the mentality, the emotions, the spirit, the energy. If you're going to lead this household, I don't want to have to slow down to let you pass me up.
The average woman doesn't make that much money.
That's true.
Right? The actual listener is making 50, 70, maybe 80. Right. So what happens to the man that only makes 50, 70, 80? Is he now completely disqualified? Because we've completely changed the conversation. We said average. Now we're talking about men that make $300,000 a year.
Right.
We can't even keep the conversation to the same topic of the average man. He's still being bypassed in the conversation. Right. Yeah. So if he's being bypassed in the conversation where we can't even stay on topic and talk about the man, imagine the women that's listening to the conversation, their mind is still going to the $300,000 man.
And that's a fact. And that's what we keep hearing. And it's not even 300,000. A lot of these women are talking about they want a millionaire now. There are women out here in their 50s who's saying they want millionaires. They want men who make millions of dollars to come in and give them this soft girl life. Money, and I agree with this lady here, money does not equate to leadership. Either you have leadership qualities or you don't. And if you're going to be a part of a household, then you're naturally going to lead that household. It ain't got nothing to do about the dollar amount of the money that you make. Now, we're not talking about men who are not working and who are not successful. We're talking about a level of a certain amount that he has to be over for you to feel secure and let him lead. Ain't no man going to deal with that, whether he got money or not. And a man who makes that kind of money, he's certainly not going to deal with a woman like that. This is why, and you see it happening before your eyes. A lot of these women with that mentality who are successful, you might as well be happy and be by yourself. They have no husbands. They have no kids. They can't really have a future with a man for real. You can sleep with whoever you want or whoever will be willing to do that. Most women can. But to have a solid, stable, serious relationship with women like that, most men don't want to deal with women with that mentality. They just don't. Let's continue.
Can I just say one more thing? Even if you are that 50, 60, 70,000 earning man, there is still a desire for you at some point to make enough to where your wife doesn't have to work.
Yes.
Are people not able to make a living and provide a beautiful life with $50,000? That's crazy.
No,
that is exactly what he said. That's what he said. That's exactly what he said. And to a allude to a person, if a person makes under a certain amount of money, to say that they don't have the ability to lead, provide, and have all of these things. That's exactly what y'all are saying. Y'all are going around about a way to say it, but that's how people are perceiving the things that y'all say.
Right.
There's a component of this that we are missing. And that is that men that are not happy with where they are financially are mean. They treat you terribly, okay? If you meet somebody and they're a 300K woman, that may not be quite the lane for you. It doesn't mean that I value you less. It doesn't mean, but you're going to perform better. You're going to be a better person. You're going to have a better mindset. You're going to be in a clearer space when you feel valued, safe, at peace with where you are. And it's no harm, no foul in that. Stay there in that lane with the women that are in alignment with you, and don't be mad at us calling us broke, gold diggers, dirty bald head scallywags on the internet because we are in this lane. It would be wonderful to meet a man and he's like, babe, let's do this together. Let's build. I got this, you got that. You got my back, I got your back. But the reality of it is because I went to school, I was valedictorian, I graduated, I got a master's degree, I did all this. Now you mad at me because you're not in my lane.
Yeah, and you know what? I think she's speaking to a certain type of dude, and I do think she has a point. But there are some men like that, but that is not all men. There are a lot of men who are comfortable in their positions, in their careers, and they're content with that. And I think a lot of times we hear people speak on the fact that a man should never, or there's this notion or idea that a man shouldn't be content with where he is. That he shouldn't get comfortable with a certain salary or a certain level. Even if he has, money saved up, he has investments, he has a house, but it's not a mansion, but it's a nice house, and it's paid for. He has cars and they're paid for. He has his stuff together and he's working and he's building, but he's not. He's comfortable there. He's able to maintain his lifestyle in a good way. Somehow that's not enough. He should always be striving for more, to keep working, to just keep working, to get to a certain level or expectation that is comfortable for a woman. Men don't want those types of women who think like that. They just don't. They want more of a traditional woman. They want more of a cooperative woman, a more submissive woman. That's just what it is. They don't want boss chicks. They don't want women who think like men, because that is a sort of not the fact that you work, but the way they speak. I run my this and I run my that. So if you are accustomed to running your life and running your businesses and all of that, these men don't want that business type model of a woman. They want more of a traditional woman who's going to be happy with raising kids and being at home, because once again, these men don't need you to go out and compete with them. They don't need you to make all the money if they make the money. That's the thing. They understand that I'm this is my position. This is what I'm expected to do. I'm expected to have a wife and a family or whatever, and I'm expected to take care of them. Women, on the other hand, they make the money. They don't expect to take care of anybody else unless it's their child, unless they have a child. But they're not expected to work with a man, and once they make the money, when they make the money, they still want you to make more so you can still take care of them. This is the downside of women who are super successful. This is the downside of it. If you have not established a marriage and a family with a man before the success, is going to be very difficult to get that. That's just my opinion. So listen, I want to hear your thoughts on this one. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. I want to hear what you have to say, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.